Hi, I'm Ryan with Rotometals, and today I'm going to show you how to install a zinc countertop in sort of a kitchen application, bar, or any sort of table that you'd want to cover it with a zinc sheet. We have a basic L-shaped cabinetry here that we're going to use some plywood down as a substrate support for the zinc, and then we will glue the zinc down on top of that. And then at the end we will show you the different patina finishes on the zinc as well as sealing the zinc, different options and colors you have to do and modify the zinc. Okay, so we're taking this 4x8 piece of plywood that's 3/4 inch thick, and we're just going to trace around the cabinets to create the substrate board, and we're going to leave probably a 1/4 to 1/2 inch lip going around that. So when the zinc gets bended back over the board, it'll have somewhat of a little lip on going over the board. Okay, so here we have the 3/4 inch plywood that was 4 foot by 8 foot, and we just traced it out to be about anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch bigger than the cabinetry, and we just cut that out with a skill saw to create the substrate board for the zinc. Okay, when you get your zinc sheet, it's typically going to be shipped via UPS rolled up. The 02, 03, and the 027 can all be shipped via UPS rolled up in a tube. You can't have the sheets shipped flat. It's quite a bit more expensive to do that because it has to come via a freight company. But this is the most economical way to get your sheets. You want to make sure when you get your sheets, you pull them out of the box and unroll them right away, because the sheets after a while will memorize the coilness and it'll make it much more difficult to unroll and work with. So typically it's safe for about a week or so, but you don't want to leave it around for a couple weeks and then get your project down the line and then pull it out a month later, and you're going to be finding it's a lot more difficult to work with your sheet. So typically the day or the day after you get your sheet, you want to pull that out. Today we're going to be working with a .027, which is the thinnest I would recommend using for a countertop application. You can go 030, 040, or 060. But typically when you have a thicker sheet, you need more sheet metal shop tools like brakes and presses to bend it and cut it. The 027 and 030 are a lot more easier to work with. That you'll see I'm just using very simple tools to cut and bend the sheet. So you can just pull out your sheet, and you can either pull the sheet out of the tube or pull the tube off of the sheet. And the best way is, once you get your sheet, you want to unroll it the reversed way it's rolled so it relaxes a little bit better and kind of levels out more. You typically want to use, at least have 2 people doing this, but it is possible by yourself. And so zinc is a very soft metal, and so it will get a lot of little scratch marks from the shipping and moving around. You will get some bent edges from the shipping, but typically you want to order a piece that's bigger than you need, because most of these pieces will be trimmed or tucked under. But you will get little scratch marks in the sheet. Those will all be buffed out later, so don't worry about that. These are basically surface scratches that will happen with your nails or the sheet shifting on itself in the tube. But once it's all worked and down on the sheet, I will show you how you can buff those out. But typically you still always want to wear gloves. The edges of the sheets are very sharp, and until you get it glued and down on the board, it's just always safer to use gloves when cutting and bending the sheet. If it's extremely coily for you, you might want to move it outside and let it sit in the sun for a few hours. That will help warm up the sheet and make it much more malleable and relax the zinc a lot more. But right now this one's fairly good.